Welcome to the Iconics Genesis 64 video guide. This video discusses how to create an interactive slider object and how to convert it into a smart symbol for fast deployment.
A slider is a very common object you may want to use in your application, and although the symbol library provides some sliders ready to use that you can just take and drop on your GraphWorX display, it is not hard at all to create a slider from scratch. In this video I will show you how you can do that. So first of all, let's draw the background for the slider. We will start with a very raw slider and then we will improve it later on. So this is the background of our slider. We also want to create a sort of hole inside this background, and then we will need to draw the handle, which is the actual slider we will drag left and right in this case. So what we want to do at first is to make sure that all of these objects are aligned in the middle, and we can also start grouping them because the slider will be a group of objects. Now we still have to associate a dynamic to the handler, and of course it will be a location dynamic, and we will drag this object to the right here. Now as you can see, I'm going a little bit up and down. If you want to make sure that you are dragging it horizontally, you can press the Shift key and the system will force you to have horizontal movements. So let me drag it until here. Now I have to select the data source, and for example let's take a variable which I will call var. Double is okay. And to make this a slider rather than an object with a dynamic, I have to set the slider property to true. So I'm ready to go. This is a slider. To make sure that it is actually doing something, I will also put a process point down here which will be hooked to the same variable. And if I go in runtime mode and I move my slider, you will see that I am actually writing a value to the variable. Now we can make this look a little bit nicer. If I double click on the rectangle, I can make the corner a little bit rounded, and then I also would like to use a different color possibly. I can keep on using a gradient, but maybe a darker one, like this blue one. And this object can be, let's say, dark gray, and I can make this a little bit rounded too, even a little bit more, and that's it. This could be my slider. Now if you want to, you can also add a label into it. For example, we can take this object, cut it with Ctrl X and copy it in here with Ctrl V, and we can put it on the bottom here. So let me also align it centrally. So in this way our slider not only has a handle but also shows the value of the variable attached to it. Now to make the slider even better, you may want to right click on it and convert it to a smart symbol. A smart symbol is a special group which exposes some properties, and the system automatically exposes the data sources as smart properties if you don't uncheck this box. I will leave it selected and click on OK. So by default the name is similar to the variable we have used. We can rename this to data source instead and click on OK. Now at this point we no longer have a group, but we have a smart symbol here which has a property which is data source. So if I want to create another slider, I just have to copy it, go in here, pick another variable, let's say var2, another one which I just created, and when I go in runtime mode I will have the first object which writes the value to a certain data source and another one which writes to another data source. So in this way you can create your custom slider you have full control over it, and if you convert it to a smart symbol you can also expose some properties, and you can easily replicate this object as many times as you want and simply change the properties that you have exposed. So for example, if you also want to expose the color of the background, you can, well, let's remove this first. You can edit this group by double-clicking it, select the background rectangle, go to the property that you want to expose, right-click on it, and select Add to Smart Properties. You can pick a name for it, so for example I will call it Background Fill, and I may also want to expose the handle fill. So at this point you see that we have three variables in here, and if I want to make a copy of my slider and change the background, I don't even need to edit the wall symbol, I can just edit the smart properties. Let's make this red, and there we go.